Mr. Men and Little Miss are back in Happy Meal and they're off on a road trip. Your little one can go somewhere exciting with Little Miss Brave, laugh all the way there with Mr. Tickle, or make up an adventure all of their own. On this road trip, anything's possible. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until the 8th of June from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy while stocks last, subject to availability.
You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast that's suitable for all ages from 2. And everything in between. I'm Tiernan, and this week, listeners, my legs are melting. Sorry, listeners, I was asleep and clearly having a very bad dream. Wasn't I, Linda? Linda?
Hello, it's me, Linda, and I'm an angry slice of quiche, and I'm going to do 6 trapeze jumps and then fly into your face for always asking where I am.
No, wait, Linda, don't! Sorry, listeners. I was having a bad dream again. A bad dream in a bad dream in a bad dream in a Vlad beam in a Sklad meme in a Chad team in a dad stream in a... What is happening? I need to go and throw some cold water on my face to really wake me up. I can't keep having all these bad dreams. All right, I'm just going to turn on the taps. Why are turnips coming out of the taps? What? How was I having a bad dream again? Listeners, I hope you're hearing this and this whole episode isn't just a bad dream too. So say I, and my extremely dancing buffalo, Gregorius. Dance, Gregorius, dance! It was a dream. Oh no. I'm certain I'm awake now, aren't I? Listeners, wow, whether I'm awake or not, if you want to write in and tell me about bad dreams, dancing buffalo, or you just have a question you want to get answered, please ask your nearest blabbling driveler, grown-up, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. Or you can write a nice review of the podcast on Apple or Castbox, or reply to any of the episodes on the Spotify Q&A. And do also check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk too to see where all our live shows are near you. Whew. That all went okay, so I must be awake now, right? Hang on, why am I at my podcasting desk in the middle of the sea? Oh, that was a weird one. While I figure out why I'm having all these weird bad dreams, you have a listen to this most importantest bit. Oh, wow, listeners. Today's guest is none other than Anna James, who, as you all know, is very famous for finally designing cutlery that can be used with Earth's tectonic plates. Anna, it is so nice to have you on the show and to have someone that's done such incredible design work.
Thank you so much. You know what? It's really nice to have an opportunity to have my work recognised in this way because not enough people actually champion the challenges with tectonic plates, and so I really appreciate you really honouring it in this way.
What bothers me actually is you say not enough people have been honouring it, but I like where I live, I can't help but see the spoon that you designed because it is so huge that it's taken up most of the skyline, and I can't really see anything else. So how could I not talk to you about it?
No, do you know what? It's fair. And actually that was a big barrier because in the making of the cutlery itself, I did actually have to destroy several tectonic plates to create the cutlery. So, it is a bit of a circular problem and there has been some resistance because of that. But so when you see that giant spoon, it is actually half of a tectonic plate itself, which actually renders the spoon completely useless because the needs of the tectonic plate have changed because it's half the size.
That's tricky. And I should say my knowledge of tectonic plates is very, very limited, but did that cause a number of serious earthquakes?
Do you know what? Actually, fun fact is that my knowledge of tectonic plates is also actually very slim. And that was why I was brought in because the problem really needed some fresh thinking, and all the geologists and, the people who have the real training just, they just didn't have the kind of thinking that was needed. They weren't willing to destroy enough tectonic plates. So I was brought in to really just bring that fresh perspective, So actually my absolute lack of knowledge about tectonic plates. So I think there were some earthquakes, but that's someone else's job to worry about that.
I really admire that. See, that just proves that you can do anything if you... Well, I was going to say if you put your mind to it, but you didn't even put your mind to it. And I think that's really admirable. Yeah.
Thank you. I think not enough people achieve nothing by not putting their mind to it, honestly.
Yes. So that's the message you say. Like, if someone out there wants to not achieve nothing, then they shouldn't put their mind to it. And then they'll get there.
More nothing produces less results.
Yes. Wow. You see, that's the kind of inspirational stuff I want on this show. And I'm so pleased that you're here because like I said, I didn't really know much about tectonic plates. I mean, when people sort of said they're very big and they cover the earth. And then I was like, well, what do you even eat on a tectonic plate? And then I found out you've made a giant fork and a spoon. Or did you hang on, am I right in thinking you made a spork at one point as well?
Oh, I don't really like to talk about that though, because sporks are actually seen as a little bit of an embarrassment to the cutlery community, which I also had no knowledge of before embarking on this project. But I actually went in hard with a spork as my first decision. And, honestly, the silence in the room when I suggest that. We had a combined conference of cutlery people, tectonic plate people. I came in, presented the spork, and honestly, just a room of silence and frowns. And I realized I needed to, pivot very quickly away from the spork.
That makes me really sad because for me, I mean, I guess maybe there's something in that, items of cutlery like to be known as individuals and that they have their own use. But a spork for me is like taking two of the things you love and combining them. It's a bit like a peanut butter and jam sandwich or jelly sandwich, I have to say, for a US listeners. Two things together and make a brilliant thing.
Well, here's a question for you. Do you think it's a branding issue? Do you think if it was called a foon, it would have had more success, would be seen as a chicer item of cutlery? I think it's a branding thing. I think foons are the way forward, actually.
I love a foon.
Spork, it's not dignified, spork, as a word.
No.
I don't think we can think why would the world take a spork seriously? Foon, it sounds kind of French, It's more chic, it's more dignified.
Le foon. Yes, le foon is definitely a nicer word to say, isn't it? It sounds like it could be a really nice noise of something driving past you at a nice speed.
Oh,
foon.
Yes.
Whereas spork, sounds like an alien threat, like something from Mars. Yeah.
Exactly. Who would trust a spork?
Yeah. Have you ever come across the ones, and of course you have you said you didn't really study cutlery, so maybe you haven't, but they're like a fork, spoon and a knife at the same time. And I don't even know what they're called.
I don't trust myself to speculate. No. I would say that's a fool's game.
Yeah,
there's too many dangerous syllables on the go there.
There are, aren't there? And also that feels to me too much because at some point you'd need to use the fork and the knife to cut things, but they'd be on the same thing, and so that for me is. You've gone too far. They've taken it too far. And they need to step back.
Yeah, they do. It's like what do you call it? Swiss Army knife. You don't need that many things coming out of one thing. Just pick a lane. Yeah,
which I have to admit now. I don't know anyone in the Swiss Army, and I don't know if you do, or I'm sorry if you're maybe related to anyone in the Swiss Army. I'm not, but I just think like. Why do you need all those things? What are they doing in the Swiss Army? And I assume they're mainly opening cans of food and then making a sandwich, because that's all I do with one.
Right. And I mean, the Swiss are a peace-loving people.
Yes.
But you know what? Maybe that's why they invented so many things to stick in a knife, maybe have more downtime than others.
That's true.
I enjoy the concept of a Swiss Army knife whilst never having had any use for one ever before in my life.
Yeah, it's really, I haven't either. And I've seen ones that have like a little pair of scissors and a little toothpick and then a nail file.
They are delightful. Yeah. I do really approve of them as a concept, I think.
Would you want, I mean, do you like things being able to be folded away? Because I sort of feel like it'd be quite nice if I could fold whole like rooms away, or like fold a car away, or different things that get in the way of stuff.
If everything could be folded, would it unfold to its same state, or does everything have to have creases in it? Like, because I do think that would change my opinion, I do want some things feel like they would be massively unfit for use. Although, do you know what? You've helped me, because maybe the giant cutlery should be foldable, and that's the answer.
Gosh.
Well,
you could have a giant Swiss Army knife with them all in, and then that comes out
perfect. You've solved it. They should have had you, not me, come in and invent it.
Well, that's very kind of you, but I also, I know nothing about tectonic plates or cutlery either, and so chances of me getting the job are about as high as you getting the job.
But you know what? I did get the job. Sometimes people don't care about expertise.
That's what I need. I don't know if the listeners will know what a CV is. I never remember. It's curriculum, cool vibes. Is it cool vibes?
Do you know what? My true and honest career goal actually was to get to a point where I didn't have to have a CV.
Wow.
Wow. Free of them.
Now you get jobs anyway, even when you don't know about things.
People just come to me and they say, do you not know about these things? And I say no, and they say, you're in.
Yeah, well, that's why, because I like on a CV, you're meant to list all the jobs you've had and all your qualifications, but I quite like the idea of maybe just giving over a piece of paper. It just says, I can do this.
Yeah. Real like Bob the Builder energy. Just like, yes, I can. Yeah. Do you know what? It serves many politicians well. So why shouldn't we be taking that same spirit forwards too?
This is so inspiring, Anna. I feel like, after talking to you, I feel like I'm just going to go out and apply for loads of jobs.
Yes.
I haven't got a clue. I'm going to be a brain surgeon. I can do it.
Don't even apply. Just rock up at that hospital, Swiss Army knife in hand, with your piece of paper, and you're in.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. And all I ever know about I've seen like hospital dramas, and the doctor's always like, hand me this item, hand me this item, and it's like, well, if you had a Swiss Army knife, you'd have them all in your hand already.
Exactly.
Get straight to that brain operation, and
just straight in there.
Wow, I feel like that we've solved a lot of problems already.
So many problems. Wow, we should actually be in charge of everything, I guess.
I hope after this it will come. I reckon people will listen in, and they'll be like, well, I've got this job, I've got all these high qualified people, but these two know what to do.
Nothing.
Yeah, well, they know nothing, so they'll have a fresh. It's like, does that what it means, having a fresh perspective or something? Is that?
Yeah,
that's what I say. Yeah. Because
new ideas, fresh perspectives. That's all it needs. That's all brain surgery needs.
Yeah, you got to think outside the box. But if you haven't been, I didn't even get in the box. I don't know where the box is. So that's so outside the box.
My box is folded away in my cupboard with all of my other things that I folded away. Everything's folded. It's just me, no boxes, me and a Swiss Army knife. And my hopes and dreams.
That is incredible. Wow. And I feel this has already been such an inspiring chat today. And I hope the listeners are already applying. I hope that by the time that this podcast has gone out, all the listeners have jobs as pilots, even though they've never seen a plane before or even read about one. all these big jobs. And thank you for having time to come on in between designing that cutlery that you weren't remotely researching or training for.
It's a busy job. Yeah.
Well, I can tell, and I appreciate you coming on the show in between. I've got a question that I really need your help to answer, Anna.
Okay.
But I do have to ask you, and I don't know if you know this, but the Radio Nonsense legal team, so I have to ask 2 admin questions to every guest before we get to the question. How do you feel about admin? Sure. Are you okay about admin?
Yeah, I can make it work. I respect it to a point.
Wow. Okay. Well, I hope that the 2 admin questions I have don't go past that point. I hope that they are
we'll find
to
out.
the point. Yeah.
The point changes.
Right. If it goes past that point, will you just refuse to answer them?
Yeah. I'm actually just going to literally leave. end of record. I'm gone. You won't get any advance warning. I'm just going to leave.
Wow. Okay, I will
High
be.
stakes.
I mean, if you do it, I'll be upset, but I'll be quite impressed as well. If you just get up and go, and then I don't know what we'll do. I guess it will just be a silent podcast, which no one's made. Has anyone made a silent podcast before?
No one's brave enough.
Wow. What are we doing? Maybe we should just leave this quiet for an hour and break some records. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I mean, I will say, Anna, that I don't know if you know anything about these questions, in which case you'll be really good at answering them.
Yes, my speciality.
Yes, well, that's what I'm hoping. Well, the first one is that I'm sure you're aware, but this podcast is suitable for people of all ages, every age you can imagine: Bronze Age, Ice Age, 7, 407, every age, not 100, long story, but every other age. David Attenborough can't listen to the show, but everyone else can absolutely tune in. And I just want to check if there are any rude words that you won't be saying on this show so that we can keep it completely family friendly.
I think probably a word that's best to avoid is, and I can say this one time, is that
well, we
I'm
need
allowed
to know
say it right now.
We need to know what words you won't be saying. Yes.
Okay. I think we should probably avoid flamingo, which I actually learned from David Attenborough is one of the rudest words in the animal kingdom.
Wow.
So it's a good job that he's not allowed to listen, because even that one mention of flamingos would, do him great harm. So thank goodness he's not allowed to listen.
Well, thank goodness for that, because I mean, just when you said the word flamingo and me saying it, that makes me feel quite a bit uneasy.
Yeah.
But I've heard him say, I suppose David Attenborough's only said it on shows that go on. They're his very, very late night shows, aren't they?
Yeah, and actually, little known fact about David Attenborough is he has a swear jar. So whenever he says flamingo, he actually has to put pound in his swear jar, but that they don't film that, obviously. But yeah, so he feels so uncomfortable about it that he puts a pound in the swear jar and donates it to charity after he's done his section.
How many pounds has he donated to charity now?
Millions. He actually can't stop saying it.
Wow,
it's a real problem he has.
That's really awful. It's outrageous. I mean, it is that thing of even just hearing you say flamingo, I feel like I need to say, I'm not going to say it, and you won't say it, obviously.
Right.
But I feel like I need to say flamingo because there's something weirdly just interesting about it, even though it's also disgusting.
Yeah, one might say the best rude words are that combination of compulsion, repulse, and excitement. A word that ends in go, it's elusive, it's exciting. Flam, it starts with flam, it ends with go, and its middle is in.
Yes.
Who put that together? Like, what were they thinking when they put those things together?
It's funny when you put it together like that. Now, I know we've got some listeners in Australia, but if I was to say flaming go, they would think I was probably swearing, right?
Yeah, they would know it in their souls.
Yeah.
How can you hear that and not be repulsed?
It's awful, isn't it? And what do you think about, because as far as I'm concerned, flamingos themselves, I should just check, is saying plural, is saying flamingos okay, or is it just the singular?
Flamingo is obviously more upsetting. Flamingos softens it slightly,
Sure.
but
Okay.
obviously we should probably be avoiding both as we're in polite company.
Yes. Well, just it's good to know that. Thank you. But flamingos, I always think of as a little bit like kind of show-offs, right? I don't want to say it. I don't want to be the one to get in trouble here, but like, oh, I'm so lovely and pink. It's like, all the other animals around them, they're blending into their surroundings. They're using camouflage. They're like, if you go to a zoo, you're like, where is that bush baby? No one's going to see it because it's hiding. Flamingo's like, I'm here, ta-da, I'm pink.
Exactly.
I'm sick of it.
And standing on one leg, that one little, one leg up like that, pink. Who do they think they are?
It's I don't like that attitude. I'll be honest. I don't like that. Look at me nonsense. Yeah, listen, Anna, I really appreciate you not saying flamingo on the show. I certainly wouldn't say it. And
no, I try to avoid saying flamingo as much as possible because, it does make me feel deeply uncomfortable when I say it.
Yes, and me too, and I really, there definitely wouldn't be any flamingo or flamingos said on this show, probably ever
Thank
again.
goodness for that. I only actually agreed to come on the show because I knew that you wouldn't say flamingo at all.
Yes, no, I know that was in the contract that I sent you, wasn't it? And where I had to state flamingo several times that you knew I would not be saying it. So
yeah, and it was actually really helpful to have that Zoom call in advance where we went through the contract and read it all out. And so, we really were able to go through all those clauses with flamingos in and really just went back and forth reading that contract out loud over and over again to make sure we just were really clear on flamingo and how much we couldn't say it. And I'm glad that that's been contractually,
absolutely. And I put in 400 different pictures of flamingos in there so that we knew definitely that is what I was talking about when
I really appreciated it. Yeah, just for absolute clarity on the flamingos. It's
what I have to do for all the guests on this show, but to show that I really respect you being here and you spending your time with us. Thank you, Alice. Thank you so much for taking that so seriously. The second question, I'm guessing that admin question didn't go past the point because you're still here. So
no, it just about, I was up and down on my chair, but it stayed just about on the right side of that line.
Good. Okay, well, in which case this question I hope will be easier, but see how you fare with it. Okay. Would you rather, Anna, always be dressed up as a one-man band, tambourines on knees, harmonica in your mouth, drum on your bum, or would you rather always be dressed up in a full old-fashioned diving suit?
Oh, like the big metal ones.
The big heavy metal ones. So it's either like constant noise or you're dressed in a massive suit of iron.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Do you know what, though? This is actually a question that speaks to the very sort of core of what it means to be a human being, I believe. Because ultimately, you're choosing between, are you going to be a massive inconvenience to other people or are you going to be a massive inconvenience to yourself,
Wow.
One-man band, no way to not be really, truly, incredibly annoying to everybody around you. But I think it would still be...
Mr. and Little Miss are back in Happy Meal and they're off on a road trip. Your little one can go somewhere exciting with Little Miss Brave, laugh all the way there with Mr. Tickle, or make up an adventure all of their own. On this road trip, anything's possible. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until the 8th of June from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy while stocks last, subject to availability.
Less uncomfortable to yourself. So the honourable thing to do would be to choose the diving suit, which is why I would choose the one-man band.
Right. Oh, I see. That's nice. Yes, because I think the thing is, I know you say that the one-man band, which you have chosen, would be constant noise and perhaps annoying for other people, but also I just think like you're giving yourself a theme tune every time you turn up, and that's something I've always wanted. I've always wanted, before I go in a room, a little ditty to play, and then there I am, and you'd be doing your own.
Exactly. You know what? I also just don't know enough about the process of getting in and out of one of those diving. I feel like I'd be committing myself to something I truly don't understand the consequences of by choosing the diving suit. Like, that has to be a real process that you're reliant on other people. Actually, do you know what? The more I think about it, the more stressed out I get because I just think the claustrophobia situation would actually become quite an issue. I think theme tunes, annoying everyone else. Actually, here's a question. Can I adjust where the harmonica is? Or is it fixed? How much can you talk without the harmonica getting involved? Can you move it away temporarily?
Yeah, because when you my very vast knowledge of one-man bands, they have the thing over their head with the harmonica attached, and sometimes they pull their face away and they say, right, I'm going to play this song, and then they put their face to it and go, that's my harmonica.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the position of the harmonica is actually crucial to that one, because I think if you cannot talk without it going through a harmonica, you're in trouble. But I think if, like you say, it's an old school, traditional one-man band, one-woman band, one-person band, one might say.
Yes.
Then I think I think it's the only option, really.
I mean, I should also say that the actual question is just, would you rather be dressed as a, well, it says one man band, so one person band, but it doesn't specify. I was specifying what that would mean, but actually, I guess you could probably choose your own instruments if you want to have a double bass on your back and maracas on your feet. You know,
No,
you could go
I
for
like
it.
that. I do play the piano and the cello, so
Right.
I guess I'd have my cello on my back.
Yeah.
I'd have a keyboard sort of apparatus in front of me. I'd actually really love to have a piano to just have a play on. It would be very heavy to choose a piano, it has to be said.
But would it be as heavy as an old-fashioned diving suit? You see, possibly not.
No,
So
possibly not. No,
it's still the better option. I mean, for me, because the thing with the old-fashioned diving suit is I don't know how you eat with, and I think there's a little window at the front that you can open and close, maybe, but it would be tricky. Whereas at least you could probably fit even if you did have a harmonica, I reckon you could fit a sandwich between your face and the harmonica.
Exactly. I would be a one-person ceilidh band, personally.
Wow.
I think that's what I'd choose. That's what I'd go for. In like genuine seriousness, my first job was in a ceilidh band called the Whistling Sheep, and I would recreate the Whistling Sheep on my body, on my person, and that's all that would be needed. Tin whistle. I'd have a tin whistle instead of a harmonica. There we go.
So you would make the sound of a whistling sheep, or you would make the sound of the whole band, the Whistling Sheep?
Both.
Yeah. Wow.
I think that's actually it's a whistling sheep within the Whistling Sheep, you know? It's like meta.
That's very meta. And is
Inception Whistling Sheep.
Was there a real whistling sheep on the band as well?
Yes, of course.
Right, yes. Yeah, that's good, because my worry was how those real sheep out there who can whistle, how they would feel about a bunch of people being whistling sheep without having a whistling sheep on there. But of course, I knew you should have had it.
No, it'd be deeply offensive, obviously, to call oneself the Whistling Sheep without our own whistling sheep.
Yes.
No, don't worry.
Good.
We were pros.
Good. I wouldn't have thought any less. So I'm very glad to hear that. I was going to say the only thing I suppose with an old-fashioned diving suit is I don't know how often, and I'm guessing it's not often based on your choice. I don't know how often you know people that drop things in the deep, deep sea and then need someone to go and get them.
No, do you know, it's only actually happened once to me. I had a really lovely blue heart-shaped necklace that this old lady chucked off the back of a boat.
Wow.
And I would have loved to go and get that back. But, my friend Brittany had a go, but still down there, I think.
Wow. And how many years does that mean?
Got to be, over 100 years. I'm actually much older than I look.
Wow, I'm very impressed. That's very.
Thank goodness I'm not exactly 100. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been allowed in the podcast.
That was what I was slightly worried about. But you said over
don't
100,
worry.
so I knew that obviously there would have been a point in your life where you couldn't have heard this podcast. But we're back past.
It was actually really sad. It was a really sad year. That year I was 100 and couldn't listen to the podcast.
Listen, 100-year-olds know what they've done. They know why they're not allowed, and you've got to have rules. I keep getting letters from 100-year-olds. It's a bit like how 100-year-olds get letters from the king. I get letters from 100-year-olds going, please, please, please. And I'm like, well, you know what you did. Yeah. So,
No, and I just spent that year thinking about what I'd done. I did send you a few letters, I know. I hope they reached you. But anyway, we're out of that period.
Yes. So, we don't need to talk about it at all anymore. And, I assume you won't be 100 again, unless you've got some really clever plan.
You never know, do you? But I thus far have aged in a sort of forward marching
the standard
sort
one.
of situation.
Classic.
Yeah,
classic.
But you never know.
That's fair. Yeah, well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed doesn't you don't have that weird sort of aging backwards thing, which it can be. That thing of always, you don't want to be 300 years old and a baby. That's just not. No one wants to be that.
No, that would be really bad. Really, it would be really bad. I think what would be the optimum? I think maybe having the mind of what do you think? What would be the optimum? The mind of a 60-year-old in the body of a 25-year-old might be the.
Yes, yeah, that'd
But
be good because
maybe,
yeah, it'd be awful to be really old but not able to change your own nappy. That would be terrible.
yeah.
So you've got to have
The
somewhere in between.
extremes are
Yeah,
the
yeah,
are the
yeah,
bad places.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it would be you could be a talking baby, and that would freak people out, and that would be quite
Yeah, I
amazing.
do think there would actually
Yeah,
be, I think on the whole, a bad setup to be aging backwards, but I do think you would pass
yeah.
through some sweet spots.
I think so. I think so too. Well, it's worth thinking about. Well,
Yeah,
Anna, thank you so much for making your choice, and I agree. I think one person man is definitely the way. One person Kaylee band. That's a very good idea.
only option.
Yes, I think you're correct. I think you're correct. The old fashioned diving suit can get folded away for another day. Thank you for coming on the show. Listen, we've got this question, and this question has been sent in by Sarah, and that's all I know
Okay.
about Sarah. I don't know where Sarah's from. I don't know how old Sarah is. Sarah could be a cosmic entity. She could be a ladybug. I don't know anything.
She could be a talking baby with the mind of an 150-year-old.
Well, this is it, and all of those, who Sarah is and where Sarah is from could affect what this question means, but we don't know. We don't know anything about it, so we're just gonna have to guess.
Okay.
And I'll read this out to you with emojis as well.
Okay.
But Sarah asks, I have a question. Why my car go boom? Scared face, crying face, scared face, crying face.
Right. So, I mean, and I would say a question that I can empathize with. My car is very old and makes alarming noises. And so I live, honestly, in a kind of constant state of worrying that my car also will go boom. But it does sound, Sarah, like your car has already gone boom. So you are worse off than me. Few suggestions. Have you, without your knowledge, been chosen as the next James Bond? Has some sort of international super spy ring perhaps been targeting you? That's a suggestion. Yeah, did you accidentally end up in some sort of like Mario Kart situation without
Yes.
realizing? Someone's hit you with one of those red or green shells. It does happen, I've
does.
heard. If got to be careful, wrong tunnel, wrong turning. Yeah, obviously I don't want to be crass, but you should always check for flamingos in your exhaust pipe
Yes, you should.
because they
You
do
should.
get wedged in there and then explode when you turn your car on.
Well, I have to ask you. Here's the big question because she's spelt boom, I should say, with 5 O's and
Right.
4 M's. So it's a big boom. It's quite a long
Right.
boom. Now,
Yeah.
are we sure this is an exploding boom? Because that could be a boom,
Oh.
or is it like is it a long boom? In which case, is it warping through space and time? Is it doing the hoovering? Is it what? I'm just saying that it's worth double checking.
No, boom is open to interpretation. Remind me again of those emojis. We're gonna have to. What can we glean from the emoji choice?
Well, it's got both hands on face, sort of scared, like screaming
Oh, they're
face,
like,
the
yeah,
scream
like
face.
scream face.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then it's really crying emoji, like waterfalls from eyes. Then it's scream
Okay.
face again, and then it's crying face again.
So I do think it's not an ideal scenario,
No,
is it?
no. They're not happy.
It's causing distress. So I don't know. I guess it depends on your. I personally would say warping through time would probably be, yes, scary, but I think more fun. I think we can rule that out.
Yes, yeah, true.
I think the emojis, if you were, would more be, the two eyes that are like, huh? I think maybe I'd put that in the mix if I was time warping,
Yes.
I think we have to understand this as a negative situation.
I agree.
Which keeps exploding high up the list. But maybe the car is just expressing itself. I don't know. Do you think?
Yeah,
I would
mean,
be alarmed if it was just maybe is it just shouting?
it could be very flatulent. It could be one of those
Yeah.
farts that changes tone 3 or 4 times and lasts for 8 or 9 seconds.
Right, and they do. Those are the right emojis.
I would
for
think
those
so
sorts.
because they're often
you
really
know.
awful. Like if it's done that, there's something awful coming your way.
And it's appropriate to have multiple emojis because when you are listening to someone or a car do one of those really extensive farts, you do go through several stages of,
yes,
shock, crying.
Yes.
So, you do
Yes.
need those multiple stages, like stages of grief, but the stages of a terrible fart are
Yes.
just shock, tears.
Well, I mean, which if Sarah's car is doing that, I wonder if rather than charging it, if it's electric car or using petrol, has she fed it root vegetables, baked beans?
Right. Flatulent, the flatulent category, just Brussels sprouts
Yes.
all day.
Cauliflower, all the classics.
Yeah, no, and that is careful. It is important, even if your car is requesting root vegetables, to tell it that sometimes it just needs to guzzle petrol because it's good for it.
Yes. It's very, bad for the planet, but good for I would suggest that car farts are also bad for the planet.
What? You know what? You're right. You're very right.
Yeah. Or car explosions. I mean, whatever's happened to it, I wish I knew more about Sarah. I mean, I am impressed that Sarah has a car. I'm guessing Sarah then must be a grown up who has a car.
Well, I don't know. Sarah might be taking inspiration from us and not letting, age, licenses, practice get in the way.
Yes.
Maybe it's not a full-size car that requires fuel, electricity, or vegetables. Maybe Sarah has got a tiny folding car.
Wow.
And that's what's gone boom.
Yes, you even get what are they called? Are they called trolley cars? Is that what they're called? The little when they have like food and drinks and someone pushes them through a train or a plane.
Oh, right. Like, yes, maybe it's one of those at a theatre even, you know, or a golf cart, like one of those golf. They have them on golf courses, don't they? When they can.
Yes, yeah, I think they do.
You get a crispy lemonade on a I don't golf. I don't know.
Well, you don't know, but that's why I trust your opinion on it, because I think you don't know, and therefore you're the person that understands it best.
Right. I just have a really strong intuition for almost everything.
Yes.
It's actually,
yes.
It's why I'm such an impressive person.
Well,
I mean, intuitively just know these things.
Which is probably why you were right in the first is you assumed Sarah's car had exploded, possibly through red or green shells, and I think that must be. We should have trusted that instinct, really.
I think it's likely, I have heard stories of it happening to people. And once you're in that situation, you have to do those 3 laps before you can get out. And, you've got to avoid those shells on those 3 laps, which is almost impossible.
Very hard. Well, I hope Sarah's all right. I hope Sarah's okay with.
Hope you got a lift with Princess Peach, Luigi.
Yes.
And you're not stuck on an eternal Mario Kart loop listening to this.
That would be eternal. That would be after a while. That music would start. The Rainbow Road, I think, make your eyes go a bit funny. But it's
maybe they're playing this podcast though. She's stuck on an eternal loop on Rainbow Road, listening to this one episode of the podcast over and over again.
Well, at least at least there'll come a point where she turns 100 and actually won't be allowed
and it stops.
to. And
oh my goodness, there's the release.
So that's
it's a kindness that you've written in by having that rule, break, but then people who are stuck in an eternal loop, it breaks when you get to 100.
That's it.
Really, you're just again ahead of your time with those rules.
I'm just trying to help out my listeners and be there for them. That's all I try and do. Listen, Anna, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for helping Sarah with that very important question. I've got to ask, you've got so much going on, but what have you got coming up in the next 400, 500 years? Have you got much going on?
Yeah, a little bit. Few loops of a Mario Kart, also writing some books, so hopefully a few of those will make it to bookshelves in the next 100 or so years. Although if you don't want to wait, Alice with a Y is already on bookshop shelves, which is about Alice in Wonderland's granddaughter going back to Wonderland. So it's full of nonsense and all sorts of strange questions. No cars going boom, but many other difficult to answer nonsensical questions. I am so excited there is another Alice in Wonderland, but it's Alice's granddaughter. Yeah, original Alice's granddaughter, also called Alice, spelled with a Y, Alyce.
Nice.
gets hit in the face with an invitation that it's not clear who it's for, but she decides to follow it, tumbles into a pond and ends up in Wonderland, where she realizes that her grandma's strange stories might be a little truer than she realized. So meet some familiar faces and some new friends as well.
That is so exciting. And I do have to check, obviously, for safety reasons, does it contain any flamingos?
Do you know what? I actually I'm so repulsed by flamingos that even though there's many of them in the original Lewis Carroll novel, I took them out of mine.
Good.
I was like, this isn't a safe place for flamingos, but it is a safe place for us who understand that flamingos are abhorrent.
Listen, what more do listeners need to know that they need to go out and get one? So that's fantastic. And that is available in all of the places our listeners are, and possibly not. I don't know if we've got any in space at the moment, but they might have to wait until you send some out there. But
maybe a little bit, but it's available in many other places.
All the other good bookshops. Is it also available in neutral and bad bookshops as well? Or just good bookshops?
Yeah, it is.
Good. All the bookshops, where are the chaotic good? Good. Or you just got sometimes you got to check. So often people go, it's available in all good bookshops. I think, well, what about the evil bookshop?
It's in the bad ones too. Yeah.
What if you've got a dangerous?
It's in the worst one.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's do try and get it from a good one though. Anna, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Best of luck with the Maricart laps, with the tectonic plates, the giant sporks, and dodging flamingos.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much to Anna James for taking time out of not having a clue what she was doing, but so very successfully to answer Sarah's question. Sarah, I do hope you liked your answer, but if not, please send any complaints you have by booming car, and then it'll never get here and I'll never have to read them. Anna James has written many amazing children's books, including Pages & Co. about Tilly, who can travel inside books, The Chronicles of Weatherwhy, all about a magical island, and most recently, Alice with a Y, which is now in paperback in the UK and available in hardback all around the rest of the world. Go and grab one, it is excellently nonsense fun, and I'll pop a little link to it in the podcast blurb. And don't forget, if you want to send in a question you need to have answered, or just get your nearest blabbering drivellers, grown-ups, to help you, email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. Or you can review us on Apple Podcasts, Castbox, or reply on the Spotify Q&A too. Or you can play the bassoon like this. Thank you. Why is this happening? I was certain my alarm went off this morning and I don't feel tired. In fact, I feel really, really like jelly. Where is my alarm? Oh, there you are. Oh, I see. Silly me, listeners. I had it set on sleep mode with extra weird dream setting. I always wondered what that did. I must have knocked it by accident. But don't worry, listeners. I'm completely awake. No! Sorry. I must have dozed off again while fixing the alarm. All done now, for certain. Let me just pinch myself to check if I am definitely awake. Ow! Yeah, definitely awake. Oh, thank goodness for that. Well, that was a horrible, horrible series of very weird and very bad dreams. And I think now I'm going to treat myself to a nice glass of cold water. Huh? I guess it's going to be a nice glass of cold turnips then. Bye!
You have been listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. It's the end. Mr. Men, Little Miss are back in Happy Meal and they're off on a road trip. Your little one can go somewhere exciting with Little Miss Brave, laugh all the way there with Mr. Tickle, or make up an adventure all of their own. On this road trip, anything's possible. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until the 8th of June from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy while stocks last, subject to availability.